Hello, welcome to our channel. As we make sure it's running, we've had a lot of problems with start and stop. I guess somebody doesn't want this information out. Somebody who hates America and hates Trump. FBI. Anyway, Trump is opens China as the data centers in America suck us dry of water and money. Anyway, this is brought to you by Noble Gold. You have a choice of investing in something solid. I bought this for, I think it was $25. It's now worth about $250 from Noble Gold. I bought it this winter. Or you can invest in something that's dying. The Treasury says the US dollar is insolvent. Which would you rather have? Something in short supply? Because the LBMA had a failure to deliver in September, December, and March. And the Treasury declared the US dollar is insolvent. So which would you rather involved in? Call Noble Gold. Get a free IRA book. Read it. Understand it. Call Noble Gold. Roll part or all of your IRA into something solid. Because if it continues to go this way, this dollar is going to lose so much value. It won't go away. But you wish we had something solid. Anyway, on to the news. Air Force One, I apologize for not getting this information out. But since I'm so suppressed, the FTC sent in the FBI to suppress those who tell the truth. I'm a little bit hesitant to get heavily involved in this anymore. But Air Force One, on Air Force One, you flew to China. There was some, not the forward engine, but the left engine, the far engine. There's something wrong with one of the fuel injectors. I don't know how many fuel injectors. I see it as kind of bent and clogged. So you got to deal with that. I guess you can wait till you get back to America. Don't worry if the engine blows up on flight. It won't. It's just there's something wrong with the fuel injection. Sorry I didn't get the information out. I'm just tired of I'm tired of Donald Trump suppressing my videos so I can't save the life of Air Force One crew. It really bothers me that President Trump will suppress me so you and Air Force One, your lives are at risk. It bothers me. By the way, if you put out corn flour and baking soda, the mice in the cockpit will die. You've still got a problem with the upper right-hand thing. There's a little green screw that is a grounding screw. You need to take the panel off. Yeah, I didn't want to do it, but you're going to have to now. Anyway, this is the first time I've been able to breathe in a long time. It rained. And we have some people who are using a weed eater out front, and there's a big gray dust cloud. Now, that's not pollen. That's what they've been spraying on us. Hegseth has been trying to kill us. The head of the Department of War has been trying to kill us ever since he took office, and the Department of Defense before him and before him and before him. And Hegseth is too girly to stop it. So he's still killing America. In fact, he's increased the killing of the world by creating droughts all over the world. He is literally killing America. Thank you, Department of War. And for bringing this up, for bringing the truth up, you won't retire me. For saving the lives of Air Force One and the President, you will not retire me. For stopping a full-scale nuclear war, Hegseth refuses to obey the Secretary of Defense. Two previous Secretary of Defenses and retire me. So, it's been 8 years. I don't think Hegseth will retire me. He'd rather see these things happen than retire me. You do with it what you think, Trump. Obviously, he's suppressing me and we're trying to save your life. You want to keep him as the Secretary of War, that's fine. It's your life that's on the line. Anyway, in the Ukraine, another 1,000 men died and more pictures surface of the cocaine in Zelensky's nose as the United States sends another $10 billion to the Ukraine every month to keep the government and the military going. Who do you think's been supplying money for the war? U.S. State Department. Marco Rubio. Anyway, in Iran, the oil wells are beginning to clog up the island that they store all of the oil on. They're no longer pumping oil. They no longer have anything to put the oil in. The oil wells are beginning to freeze up. By tomorrow, they will freeze up. And as God said, there are sirens all over this city 24/7. There's nothing we can do about it until Trump arrests the governors for committing treason. There's nothing we can do about living in the highest crime city in the world. The world! More murders per capita in Tacoma than anywhere in the world. And until Trump arrests the governors, it'll continue. So no arrest. Trump is trying to open up China while his own country is falling apart. We have sewer lines that are 60 years old, and because of affirmative action, they don't have the money to replace the sewer or water lines. Trump hasn't arrested the governor. You see, there's a court order that says the power company and the water company isn't supposed to give the city money for affirmative action, but they do it because the governor allows it. Trump won't arrest the governor for violating court orders and for violating federal law. So our water and sewer lines are falling apart because President Trump won't do what he's required to do under federal law, under the Organic Constitution of 1879 and of 1789 and the Organic Constitution of 1871. He will not do his duty. Oh well. So Trump went to China with Larry Fink, the head of BlackRock, CIA, and Elon Musk, and quite a few billionaires who apparently went on their own private jets. Anyway, the welcoming was spectacular. They would raise the American flag, then the Chinese flag, then the American flag, then the Chinese flag. It was well coordinated. The vice president of China met him because the president is under the weather. He's actually the president's cousin. Trump knows this. So he negotiates with the vice president. So China needs 9 million barrels of oil a day. They have 1.9 million barrels of oil a day. They're getting some from Russia. They have 1.5 billion barrels of oil stored up. So considering the amount they're getting from Russia, they probably have about 300 days supply and backup. So China's not worried about the death of Iran. But they've been shipping weapons to Iran. So this conflict in the Ukraine has been a U.S. versus Russia conflict. And the conflict in Iran has been a U.S. versus China conflict. What we found out was that the Russians and the Chinese weapons are second rate. So like in all wars, they're sending in their second rate, but they overwhelm us with their second rate weapons. Would you rather have 100,000 second rate drones or 10 top of the line drones? Well, the U.S. produces 10 drones and Russia produces 1,000. They overwhelm our defenses. It's their philosophy. It's the Eastern philosophy. It tends to win wars. So they're now meeting about such things as a train between Alaska all the way from the tip of Argentina all the way up through Mexico, the United States, into Canada, and then down into Russia, or up through Russia, down into China, and then across Siberia for trade. Would be a tremendous boon for trade. They're talking about a bridge, but we'll see. But China is no longer sending weapons to Iran, and Iran is no longer selling oil. So there's no money to send China for weapons. So the conflict may come to an end. Iran is attacking every nation next to it. Every nation. They're sending in troops. They're blowing it up with missiles. Iraq, UAE, they sent in some troops in Kuwait to kill people, randomly shoot people. Bahrain, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, they're just killing everybody except Pakistan, which has one road, two-lane roads partially paved. And they're supposed to import enough food for 90 million people through a two-lane partially paved road. I don't think so. There's no gas stations on that road. Anyway, so Trump has put an end to the Iran war going to China, and they will negotiate the opening of China and the not importation of products made by the Uyghur Muslims, which are slaves. And now on to the main story. It's a nightmare on steroids. As a nightmare on steroids unfolds. The data centers. The U.S. has about 3,000 data centers. They claim 4,000, but these are little data centers the size of this 10 by 10 room. So they claim they have about 3,000 smaller data centers. A couple of them, like the one in Utah, is a big data center, but it's already been outdated. So 98% of international trade is from the U.S. dollar, and 45% of all transactions worldwide are conducted on U.S.-owned computers within the United States. They want that to be 100%. So we, the American public, are building an additional, let's see, we've got about 3,000 little ones. We're building an additional 2,500 data centers. Average cost $50 billion apiece. Well, what's 50 billion times 2,500? Because remember, they got to build the power supply centers with the data centers. You can't just build a data center. You have to build a supply center with it. So we're going to spend about $15 trillion on data centers. Why? The mark of the beast, baby. You can't buy or sell without it. If you don't have the mark of the beast, if you don't have that developed by Carl Sanders, and the beast is the computer, then you can't buy or sell unless you're a private company and they're trying to put them out of business. You will have the mark of the beast, and that mark of the beast will soon be on your hand, on your forehead, and on the back of your neck. Intelligence, I was told by military intelligence, naval intelligence, that mark will be slapped on the back of your neck very soon. So, and you will run to get that because they'll cut off the food supply. And how are they doing that? Well, we're spending just on one data center. We're going to focus on one. There's 5 being planned. There's 5 in Texas, 5 data centers. We're spending $250 billion to look into the infrared region to try and find the angels and shoot down Jesus. This is insane. They say it themselves. They've gone wackadoodle. Anyway, so the United States is floating $9 trillion, a lot through cryptos, because cryptos were designed to absorb government bonds. I still haven't gotten my Coinbase money. It's been 5-6 years. They stole it, basically. It was in Ethereum and Bitcoin. They stole my crypto, just like they're going to steal yours. Unless you worship Lucifer. Then they won't touch you. Unless you say the wrong thing, then they steal it anyway. But anyway, $50 billion apiece. We're going to spend $12 to $15 trillion on more data centers, so we end up with 5,500 data centers. Let's talk about Cheyenne, Wyoming. They're building 6 data centers. People noticed in Cheyenne that their water pressure was going down. Turned out that one of the sites that they're building had tapped into 2 water lines for Cheyenne, Wyoming, and they were sucking Cheyenne dry so they could build their cement pads, because cement requires a lot of water. And it requires you to build a mini city so you can house the workers. Well, they were sucking Cheyenne dry. And the people of Cheyenne said, why do we have no water pressure? Cheyenne investigated and found 2 underground lines that they had gone underground, tied into the city of Cheyenne, and sucked out almost $100 million of water. Cheyenne says, oh no, not only are we going to fine you, we're going to charge you. No problem, national security. Uncle Sam, give me more taxpayer money. We need $100 million to pay for the water we've already stolen. Busted. Nobody went to jail. Nobody got arrested. No arrests. No jail time. They just stole $100 million worth of water and got away with it. So they're building 6 of these data centers, and they don't have the water just to build the cement pads, let alone cool these things. Cheyenne's in a drought thanks to the Department of War. Hegseth has made a drought all across the United States. So I think they got 5 inches of rain last year. So they're sinking their wells down. They're tying into the city water line, which has to sink a deeper and deeper and deeper 300-400 foot well. So they're going to suck the ground dry. And Cheyenne, which was a great cattle ranching place, is going to turn into the Sahara Desert. 5 years. The landscape will be desert. Sucking America dry. The nightmare continues as the Department of War destroys America with droughts. Fires. Already the Washington Department of Forestry is flying airplanes throwing torches out. They just take these flares and throw them out. They have a permanent fire camp. They're already starting fires across the areas of Leavenworth and North. Well, why not? Nobody's stopping them. The governor's not going to stop them. Trump won't arrest the governor for treason, for murder. If Trump won't arrest the governor for murder, then he won't arrest him for treason. Which is higher, treason or murder? Murder. Trump won't arrest the Washington state governor for supporting the state forestry department. He knows that they fly planes and throw flares out the window and murder people. Trump will not arrest governors for murder. So anyway, let's take a look at Utah. 1 data center, $100 billion, sucking up 9 megawatts of electricity. They have to run a large natural gas pipeline into that, and it's going to raise the temperature of northeastern Utah, Logan, Utah, by 15 degrees. That's a conservative estimate. It's already a frickin' desert. And Logan, Utah has rivers that come out of the mountains and go down and feed Salt Lake. Now, when Salt Lake gets low, everybody in Salt Lake starts gagging because the dust of Salt Lake blows into, and it's toxic. It destroys everything. It's salt water. And it's salt water that's just pure salt. There's no water with it. And it gags everybody in Salt Lake. So this data center will dry up Salt Lake, guaranteed. And they'll have dust storms. Salt Lake will have to be abandoned. And the Utah governor's like, oh boy, kill everybody in Salt Lake. This is not a joke. This is not meant as a joke. The governor of Utah has approved a data project because he's been told to approve a data project or he's a dead man and is going to kill a lot of people in Salt Lake. It's called murder. So why is Trump not arresting anybody, any of the governors who are committing murder? You tell me. Anyway, this one data center, and remember, they're building 1,500 of them. This one data center in Utah is being built in a desert, and it will take 40,000 acres of cattle ranch land. Now, it's not going to be this big thing. It's going to be here, here, here. And all the area surrounding the data centers dies. It's just the way it is. You build a data center, here's a little data center, and all this area around it dies because of the electromagnetic waves. The workers die young. They're too stupid to eat immunosystem seaweed. They usually get cancer and die, or neurological disease. So it's literally going to displace and destroy and turn all of northeastern Utah into a desert. And that's one data center, just one. Imagine that across the country with 1,500 additional data centers running between $50 and $100 billion apiece. This one is 62 square miles, larger than Manhattan, and it will affect and destroy the acreage of most of Utah and into Colorado. It will suck them dry. It's all, the data centers in Cheyenne have already sucked Cheyenne dry. And that's one little data center. They're building 6 of them. And the people are saying, what the heck is going on? This is not for credit card transactions. This is not for banking. We had banking long before we had data centers. We had credit cards long before we had data centers, just little data centers. American Express had a little data center. MasterCard had a little data center. Visa, all hail affirmative action, had a little data center. Now we have 3,000, well, 2,500 to 3,000. China only has 2,000 people, and they got 1.5 billion people. And we're going to have 5,500 for 360 million? Something doesn't add up. They want to be the Sahara Desert that controls the world's finances. As Pete Hegseth kills us from the air with chemtrails, and like I said, there's this big plume of dust down there from the chemtrails they've been spraying us. As he drives us out, because if the earth gets warmer, it's supposed to get wetter, right? Unless you chemtrail us to death. So as Department of War drives us out and kills us, we'll have the data centers to run the world's financial system. I mean, this little data center in Utah is going to suck up 9 gigawatts of power. That's more power than all of Utah uses. That whole area will go up 15 to 20 degrees in temperature, and it's already a desert. We're going to kill the people in northern Utah, from Salt Lake all the way up to Logan. We're going to burn them out. Because if there's no water, the forests burn down. And Logan, Utah is the forestry center for Utah. We're going to burn down the forests and kill the people. This is not a joke. This is a nightmare on steroids. The mark of the beast, a nightmare on steroids. It says in the Bible we'd see their folly, but it didn't say we'd be able to stop it. Anyway, God bless. Thank you very much. We appreciate each and every one of you. There's no sense praying. They're already fasting and praying, and it's not doing any good. Satan's moving ahead with the data centers. By God, he's going to turn the United States into a burned-out desert. God bless. Thank you very much. We appreciate each and every one of you. You don't believe me? Go to Montana, where they had 1 inch of snow this year. Vancouver, Washington, where we had no snow, almost no rain. Anyway, God bless. Thank you very much. We appreciate each and every one of you. And again, a warming planet has more rain. We'll see you tomorrow.